get up, let me begin. This is TWSN. You ain't heard about us yet, well you better know now, because it's the place that it all goes down.
And it is about to go down. Guys, thank you for joining us for another episode of well, this is typically the Strikes and Submission show, but it's not today. It's the TWSN UFC 269 preview show. Got an all-star studded cast here. We've got Mr. Michael Daly, one of our co-leads here. Mike, how you feeling today, my man?
I'm great, Malik. We look like the Brady Bunch right now. We're all in boxes, but it's great to be with you guys. I love it.
Absolutely. We've got Dorian, Wright. I'm excited to see if he has any of his Mystic Doe predictions today. What's going on, my man?
What's going on, Malik? We back and better for another one. Ready to get this kicked off.
Yes, sir. Return of the Mack. Mack, what's going on, my man? How you doing today?
I'm ready. I got no barbecue to tend to today, so it's all right.
Man. And just like Cody Garibrandt's chin, we've got Dash. I was trying to make a funny reference there. It didn't work out that way, guys. I'm gonna say like Cody Garibrandt's chin going out. We got Dash here. Dash, how we doing today, my man?
I'm doing great. It's a great Saturday morning. Let's have a good show.
Controversial king himself, Nader.
Doing great. Last pay-per-view of the year, and it's a fantastic one. Can't wait.
Yes, it is. And to top it all off, we got Daniel Alameda. What's going on, man?
Excited, man. Excited to make some predictions and win some damn money today. We got a lot of bets we're placing.
We're all talking about how we're excited, but I'll tell you what I'm excited for. I'm excited for the TWSN Patreon. If you guys are not subscribed to it yet, make sure you guys subscribe to the TWSN Patreon. A lot of great picks on there. There may be a guy who's really damn good at picking UFC picks, making his picks on there. You might want to subscribe to it, make some damn money for yourself. But while you're here, make sure you also subscribe to the TWSN YouTube channel. Follow us on all our social media platforms. With that being said, guys, we have a UFC jam-packed card that we need to get to. We're going to start it off in the women's flyweight division, right, where we've got Jillian Roberts. Mike, you're the guy that pronounces everyone's names for me, because the name, I'm not great with it. Jillian Robertson's taking on
Cachoeira.
There we go. Who we got in this fight? I'm going to start it off with Nader.
Yeah. First fight of the night, I have Priscilla Cachoeira winning this one. People are using the excuse that Jillian Robertson is a great wrestler, but Priscilla has fought wrestlers in the past. She's going to, in my opinion, I think that she knocks out Jillian Robertson and that she defies the odds, because I believe that Jillian Robertson is a minus 300 favorite. So definitely something that you should tune in for, because I think that it will be an upset.
Dash, I know you share a different opinion. Let's hear your thoughts.
Yeah, I think that Jillian Robertson is going to hold on to this one. She's just a veteran, and she knows what she's doing. She's been in there with a ton of fighters, and she'll be able to stand the pressure. She will take the fight to the ground. She's going to hold her there. Her top pressure is really, really good. When she was holding Miranda Maverick down, that was really impressive to me, and I think she's going to hold her down for 3 rounds by decision.
I like how you had the reference. You said she's going to hold on to this one here because you get it. She's probably going to die for the legs from the very beginning because she's scared to stand with her. But Mac, what are your thoughts?
I'm right on with Dash there. I think Jillian's going to use her wrestling, kind of lean on that to get a decision win. I'm with Nader, though. I think the line's a little off. I think minus 325 for Jillian is definitely a little bit high, but I think she'll get it done.
Lean on me like the song Doe. How we feeling today, my man? Who you got?
Yeah, they're crazy, man. Priscilla, Nader, you're right. Priscilla got this one in the bag. I think she continues the KO streak, probably via ground and pound. Like you said, diving at the legs, gonna sprawl out, get pounded out, I think. The line's ridiculous for Jillian. I don't know what she's done to earn that in her last few fights, but it is what it is.
Yeah, butchering starts now. Daly, what are your thoughts?
Dorian thinks those guys are crazy. I think Dorian and Nader are crazy. Put some respect on Jillian Robertson's name. She has trained with Dean Thomas for a long time. She held her own against Miranda Maverick. Cachoeira holds out for a knockout, but that will be the wrong move tonight. She will lose.
And Daniel.
Yeah, man, I'm just going to take Jillian Roberts. I'm going to side with Mac, Dash, and Michael here. It's going to be she's going to win by decision. So.
Yeah, Mama said knock you out. Priscilla's going to knock Jillian Robertson.
I don't see it.
Through the roof. We got Randy Costa. Guys, we're going to try to speed through a lot of these because we do have a jam-packed card to get to. Randy Costa taking on Tony Kelly. I'll be honest with you. I think the UFC this is a get-right fight for Randy Costa after he almost had the upset and beat Adrian Yanez. And I think Randy Costa beats Tony Kelly very convincingly. Dash, I'm let you get your opinion on this.
Yeah, Randy Costa is just a better fighter. He's more exciting. I think this is going to be a fun fight to watch, and he's going to put on a show.
Mack Johnson. What are your thoughts?
Same way for me. I think Tony's a tough dude. I don't think Randy's going to be able to finish it within 3 rounds, but I think he classes him for 3 rounds.
Nader?
Agree with both of them. Randy Costa landed 57 strikes in the first round against Adrian Yanez, who's considered one of the better prospects in all of the UFC. I think that he learns how to manage it throughout 3 rounds, and he beats Tony Kelly, possibly getting him out of there in less than 15 minutes.
Bars. Daniel?
I think Kelly hasn't fought in a year, and Costa pretty much makes quick work of most of his opponents. I'm going to go Costa here.
Except for Yanez. Michael Daly?
I'm going to have to go with Randy Costa because he's going to get the stoppage here. The only way I see Kelly winning is by decision, and I don't see it. Like Daniel said, he hasn't fought since October 2020. I don't see him getting a win.
And Dorian. Mystic Doe, do you have anything?
A little funny story. Tony Kelly apparently didn't want to wear a mask in the airport, so he drove from Louisiana to Las Vegas, and he's driving back. So in order to avoid wearing a mask in the airport, he drove. I don't think that's good when you're cutting weight. I got Costa.
It's going to be a long
Sounds
drive.
like he wants to save money because he has not fought in a year. But no, Randy Costa for me is the pick. Oh, we've got an exciting fight, the fight of the year coming up, guys. Ryan Hall taking on Darrick Minner. Ooh, what a fight. If you like to roll around on the mat, this is the fight for you. If you understand my reference, kudos to you. Ryan Hall, Darrick Minner. Dorian, start us off on this one.
I think Ryan Hall rolls his way to a victory. I think he's susceptible to getting subbed in his career, so I think Ryan Hall get it done.
Mac?
I'm kind of up in the air on this one. I think obviously Ryan Hall's got the ability to submit Minner, but Minner's got some heavy hands too. If he gets in the right position on the ground, I think he can hurt Ryan. And you saw that when Topuria fought Ryan Hall last time, only took a couple of those good shots to get him out of there. So I don't know. If I had to pick, I think I'd pick Ryan Hall, but I don't think that TKO is off the table for Minner.
You want to know the one thing I do want to just elaborate on this real quickly. The one thing that I have an issue with for Darrick Minner, and I probably could be just PTSD, being a little bit pissed off. I picked Darrick Minner to beat Darren Elkins' last fight. That did not happen. That did not happen.
Got TKO'd by the damage.
It's weird. Like he's a guy that has wrestling ability, but he doesn't have the cardio to keep up with the wrestling ability. And the fact that Darren the Damage Elkins was able to come back and be it, to me, it was just like, I don't know. I don't think Darrick Minner has the highest IQ personally. I think he thinks of himself in a higher light than I can just see him in a scenario where he decides to dive and go to the ground with Ryan Hall. And I think you're just playing into Ryan Hall's hand at that point. Daly, what are your thoughts?
What are you guys seeing that I'm not? Ryan Hall gets stopped tonight. In his last fight against Ilia Topuria, the guy was shooting for Eminari rolls.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sorry. I'm staying away if I'm anyone who is going to pick Ryan Hall. I think Darrick Minner gets a stoppage tonight.
Oh, don't confuse picking somebody with betting. No. I am not betting on this fight. This fight is on crack. But I will say that if you want my honest opinion, what have both fighters done? The guy was dominating Darren Elkins and said, you know what's a good idea? Let's go for a takedown. And he decides to go for a takedown, and then he gasses himself out. And then you let Darren Elkins, who's like who's decrepit at this point of his career, you let him come back and stop you in a TKO. Yeah.
What about the Charles Rosa fight, though? That was great.
That's fine. Charles Rosa, you mean the guy who has a one good fight and then he has an off fight? The guy that his background is he's from Boston. He's a great wrestler. Then he can proceed to get out wrestled.
He is a great wrestler, though.
That's fine, but he proceeds to get out wrestled, and he almost got stopped by the guy who bet his entire He almost let the guy who bet his entire UFC paycheck come back and win that fight. So yeah, that to me, hanging your hat on a Charles Rosa victories. That's like UFC continuously putting him in the UFC game. Like, what has he done to earn that? I don't know. Daniel, what are your thoughts?
Yeah, I'm gonna take Hall here. I think he's gonna submit Minner. So yeah,
IQs matter in fights. Nader.
I agree with Daniel. I mean, I think that Darrick Minner, knowing his IQ and his past decisions he's made in fights, he'll do something where he'll almost willingly wrestle with Ryan Hall, and I think that will be a huge mistake. Ryan Hall, heel hook, something, gets him out, possibly in the second round.
Dash?
Yeah, I mean, Ryan Hall doesn't have the greatest fight IQ either. I wouldn't say it's good when you just give up your back or you just lay on the ground 4 times per round and hope your opponent does something.
What was Brent doing against Ilia Topuria, though? It was either he was getting knocked down, lying on his face or on his back. I mean, like, it was no choice. Ilia Topuria. But the fact of the matter is, we're comparing. We're talking about. We keep bringing up Ilia Topuria. Ilia Topuria would knock out Ryan Hall, Derek Minner, all
At the
probably
same time.
in the same night, and Darren Elkins. I'm just being honest. So
Just throw him in there.
just, I don't know. It doesn't do much for me. I just think that both of these fighters, like, we know what Ryan Hall is going to bring to the table. We know he's going to roll around. Derek Minner does not. He will get frustrated and probably like, you know what? Screw this. Ilia Topuria could do that because Ilia Topuria is also like a black belt in jiu-jitsu. He's like phenomenal on the ground as well. Like, I don't know. Yeah. So those are my thoughts on that fight. Anyway, keeping it going. Miranda Maverick goes against Erin Blanchfield. Let's make this thing quick, guys. Because of course we have more fights to go over. No other reason. But Daly, what are your thoughts?
I'm going Miranda Maverick. I think it's going to be a dominant performance. She's going to get it back. She was robbed in her last fight against Macy Barber. She gets it back via decision.
You said she gets it back in blood, right? I got you. Daniel, what are your thoughts?
Yeah, I'm gonna take Miranda Maverick. I think Maverick is going to. I think she's gonna submit Blanchfield.
Blanchfield.
I think she'll win by submission. Yeah.
Yep. Dash, you.
Oh yeah, I got Miranda Maverick here. I think this could be her last fight at flyweight too. We'll see. I think she moves up soon, but we'll see. I got Miranda Maverick pretty easy.
Matt.
Maverick for me as well. Yeah, she got robbed. Needs to get that one back.
Absolutely, Nader.
Not much to say. Maverick is, I believe, on a different level than Blanchfield, and that she takes it tonight.
Absolutely, like me and you playing UFC 4, different levels. Dorian, you.
I have Maverick as well, but all you guys picking makes me want to take Blanchfield. I don't think that's clear cut as we're making it seem.
It is,
but I'll take a flyer on Blanchfield.
So you're picking Blanchfield? Don't do that. Don't be that guy. Don't be that guy. Don't mess up your perfect picks tonight. Being that guy to be like, you know what? I'm going Branchfield. Or you didn't know how to pronounce her last name ever. You just said Branchfield.
You said Branchfield.
No,
okay.
I said Blanchfield.
I have Miranda Maverick, but it's not as clear cut as we think. I do think it's a 15-minute fight though. Unanimous decision.
Yeah. Okay. Andre Muniz is taking on Eric Anders, TWSN's favorite. Daly, what are your thoughts?
Eric Anders has never been submitted in his career. Tonight, he will be. Andre Muniz gets a submission victory.
Daniel?
Yeah. I mean, when we were going over our predictions in the chat, everybody was saying submission. I went back, rewatched some of the fights. I'm going to take Muniz by submission here.
Nader?
Muniz is up here. Anders is right here. I think it's a different level. Muniz is a much better fighter, and he finishes Anders within 15 minutes.
Matt?
If Anders gets on his back, you better lock those arms because if one of those gets extended, it's not getting back. That thing's getting broken. Talk to Jacare.
Call
Jock. Dash, your thoughts?
Yeah, Andre Muniz gets this one. Pretty straightforward, I think, by submission.
Dorian.
I think Andre Muniz hands Eric Anders his papers out of the middleweight division, and I think he snaps a limb. And Eric Anders is going to have to move up to 205 because this cut's not for him.
You know, a buddy of mine said this very, very perfectly. He said Eric Anders overperformed when he first got to the UFC because he relied heavily on his athleticism. As we all know, he used to play for the Alabama Crimson Tide, Roll Tide, my boys. But he used to rely a lot on his athleticism. Now, almost like 35 years old, it might be 35 actually. His athleticism is no longer the same as it used to be. So his skill level, I mean, let's be honest, like same guy that let Darren Stewart, take
Darren Stewart the past 9 months.
He's also 6-6 in the UFC. Nothing special. He's 6.
Exactly. So I think as long as Andre Muniz doesn't gas out, which he can do. I'm not going to be a pure, but guess what? The beautiful thing for him is Eric Anders also gasses out. So I'm going with Andre Muniz here. Eric Anders, TWSN's rooting for you, buddy. We're rooting for you hard though. Gonna keep it going. Jordan Wright going against Bruno Silva, everyone's favorite fight of the night. Dash, let's start with you, bud.
Yeah, this one's actually a surprise betting fight for me. I think that this is one that you could wait until wait till live bet because I think Bruno Silva, like we've been talking about, he's probably going to come out a little bit slow. He might not look that great, but he's going to get the job done. And the line is it's super in his favor right now. He's minus 365 on the UFC website. So if you wait a little bit, we'll hope that line comes a little bit closer to zero. You can make a little bit more money if you wait. But do bet Bruno Silva. I think he's going to take this one.
Mac, let's go to you next, my man.
I think Dash hit the nail on the head. Yeah, not much else to say there. He hit it.
Nader?
Yeah, I have Bruno Silva as well. Well, Jordan Wright, let me just say this. He lands 7.13 significant strikes per minute. That's fantastic. But he also absorbs 7.49. Bruno Silva, if he had a better defense, maybe he could get him out in the first round, but Bruno Silva's defense is pretty well. He's pretty good, and I believe that he does take it tonight.
Daly?
Right now, I got to go with Bruno Silva. Regardless of the winner, I don't see this going out of the first round. Just based on the way Jordan Wright fights, I think he's going to let it go in the first round, and that's where he gets caught, and he gets knocked out by Bruno Silva in the first round.
Daniel?
Yeah, man. Michael took the words right out of my mouth. I think that the way Wright fights is going to make this a barn burner, and I'm going to take Silva knockout for round one.
Doe?
I view it the same, but I do think it gets out of the first round. I think Wright probably gasses himself out, and Silva just picks him apart for the last 2 rounds. I don't see this getting finished though.
You guys ever had or those of you who have a cousin or a bigger brother, stuff like that? You ever been punched and like while you're holding up a pillow or trying to defend yourself and you just feel it? Don't sleep on Jordan Wright's power. Let's actually not do that because the fact that Bruno Silva starts so slow, he has the. I'm sorry, I've seen him struggle against Wellington Thurman. For me, that's I don't know. I think that this line is a little bit too juiced. I do expect Bruno Silva to win, but if Jordan Wright touches him, yeah, we could be singing a different tune. So yeah, I'm going. What's the Drewski meme, Dorian? I don't know. I'm going Silva here, but it would not shock me one bit if Jordan Wright TKO'd this man. Now, right, Julian Paiva, right? Did I say his name right? Is it Julian or Rivulian or
Julian?
It's taking on Sean O'Malley. I'm gonna let Daniel start this one off.
He's going to sleep, man. He's going to sleep. I think O'Malley's going to come out on fire in this one. I think Paula, is that how you say his name? He's his last fight. He's a tough dude. And it's I don't know, man. Sean O'Malley's on a different level. O'Malley KO round 2.
Mm-hmm. Daly?
The way Paiva performed against Kyler Phillips scared me because there were a lot of grappling exchanges, and even when they were striking exchanges, Paiva dropped his hands a lot. If you do that with O'Malley, you were going to get hurt. I don't think he gets stopped. I think he survives the 15 minutes, but O'Malley should get a unanimous decision victory.
I'm just really curious, will Sean O'Malley do what he always does once he has an opponent hurt? He gets the season back up, and if you guys go watch his fights, he does the exact same thing, which winds up gassing him out, which is he throws that spinning back kick, and it never lands. It literally never lands. I think it may have landed on Chris Matinho, UFC legend. Yeah, I don't know. I think that Sean O'Malley should take the measured approach in this fight. Because to be honest with you, he could have got Chris Matinho out of there had he not been just doing ridiculous things. I think he should take a measured approach and just, if you got a guy hurt, simply stalk your prey. Don't go fully in, right? Because sometimes when guys are hurt, that's when they're the most dangerous. I mean, Kyler Phillips had the opportunity to put Paiva out of there and let Paiva get a takedown and then recover, and then next thing you know, Paiva beats Kyler Phillips, which was the weirdest turn of events, especially when you look at how Kyler Phillips started this fight. But regardless, Paiva's too small. Sean O'Malley's too big. He's a weight bully in this division. He's going to beat him. Nader, your thoughts?
Yeah, I agree. I mean, but this has a different feel to it. Paiva is actually a ranked fighter, so it's not like he is on a different level than Sean's past opponents for the most part. It is somewhat. I mean, I'm not saying that he's going to get he's going to stand a chance against Sean. I think Sean destroys him, but at the same time, this is a pretty decent fight for Sean. It's not one of those fights where he's just fighting. Well, a lot of people call them as nobodies or cans.
Okay.
I think.
Can I say something with you, Nader?
Mm-hmm.
Can I say something with you, if you don't mind?
Go ahead.
Paiva went the distance with Zalgas Zumagulov.
I
Malik, I love you, man.
Our boy Zalga started off hot last weekend. Put some respect on his name.
Yeah. This is you do also know this is like Paiva's like second fight at bantamweight, right? Like he's an undersized. He shouldn't be fighting at bantamweight. He should go back to flyweight.
No, I'm not saying that.
No, but you threw out the fact that he was ranked. Like
but like I think that Paiva is significantly, or not significant, but somewhat better than 99% of Sean's past opponents.
He's not better than Marlon Vera.
Well, yeah, he lost to Cheeto though.
He was beating Cheeto before he
lost. It's still a loss. He lost. And I'm saying
he's also beating Cheeto.
Sean O'Malley's wins. I think that Paiva is somewhat better, and I think that this is a good fight for Sean. I'm not saying that it's going to mean that Paiva somehow puts a great fight up against Sean, takes it 3 rounds, and gets Sean gets a split decision win, or even a unanimous decision. I still think that Sean knocks him out, but I'm just saying I think that this is a good matchup for Sean, and that it is interesting that yes, this is the fight that gets him into the top 15.
Yeah, I'm gonna. I missed a couple of fights on the prelim. What I don't know what's going on. What's going on with me today, guys? Let's continue to run through the Sean O'Malley thing, and we're gonna go back and circle back around. I apologize, I got my things mixed up today. My bad for all those of you who are following along. I guess we're too excited for the main card. But let's do a speed round. Does anybody think Paiva is beating Sean O'Malley?
No.
Speak now for hold your peace. Okay, cool. We're gonna go back to the prelims, guys. Augusta Sakai is taking on Tai Tuivasa, the Shoey. Daniel, I know that's your guy.
Daniel, you want to make?
I mean, it's yeah. You want to make some bets tonight?
I lost to
Let's make some bets tonight. Shoey. So you got to.
I'll make a bet, not on this fight though. I'm not taking Tuivasa, that's for sure. I think that Tuivasa is a guy who he's got great leg kicks, okay, and he's very powerful, but he got clipped against Greg Hardy. He got clipped, and yes, he proceeded to knock him out. He won the fight, but I think that Sakai is going to make this a barn burner. Both these guys throw the same amount of significant strikes, and I think that he can catch Tuivasa. So
okay, so I ran from this before. Let's make a bet, Daniel.
I'm not confident in this one.
Yes. I think you have something against Tai Tuivasa because you always pick against him. It's fine. Listen. Listen.
2 fights.
Listen.
Out of 2 fights.
Let's do a shoey bet. Come on now. One more time. One more time for the one time.
So me and you. You'll do a shoey if Tuivasa loses.
Yeah.
You gotta take that.
Take it for the odds of that. I will gladly take you up on that offer. Come on,
virtual shake.
Tuivasa is gonna be laying on the canvas in round 2.
Okay, and if Tai Tu, you I guess you must not have watched Sakai. Sakai literally does not move, but and that literally plays right into Tai Tuivasa's hand in terms of his leg kicks. You said leg kicks, okay? Leg kicks matter.
Oh yeah, no, of course they matter.
Did you? Let me ask you a question. Did you have the opportunity to number one? Did you watch who Sakai has beaten? I think his
last win is Blagoy Ivanov by decision in March 2020.
I think he did beat Marcin Tybura, right? Like years ago.
And 1 minute before that, yes, the fight before that.
But I remember there was a fight, like the UFC kind of like needed to throw
what just happened to Marcin Tybura the other week?
Right, obliterated. But the thing is, you guys they put Augusta Sakai in there against Jairzinho Rosenstruck.
Outclassed.
Yeah.
Should have never even been in the same places as ring as him. Like the UFC is putting, make no mistake about it, UFC had beautiful matchmaking when they thought of this fight, when they thought of this card. They're pitting Tai Tuivasa on this card because he's a big name, he's a fun guy, and it's in front of the crowd, and he's going to do a nasty shoey at the end of the fight. And Daniel, so will you be, because you're going to lose this. But keeping it going, we went to Daniel. We had Daniel started off. Daly, what about you?
I am going to go with Augusto Sakai because Tai Tuivasa, to me, I was a little bit alarmed with the way he got rocked by Greg Hardy. There was an overhand right that clipped him. Sakai has some power. He does. And I think Sakai is more of a technical striker. I don't think Sakai stops him. I think Sakai gets a split decision victory.
The funny thing about that is I think people got to realize not too many heavyweights have the athleticism that Greg Hardy has, though. And when I watch Sakai, yeah, he might be a technical striker. I agree 100%. Nothing you said, Daly, was false about Sakai. He doesn't move though. Like he doesn't really move. Like he's not even in the best shape when it comes to a heavyweight. Like I think there's a very clear path how this happens. I think Tai Tuivasa beats his legs up and knocks him out, or probably TKOs him. That's genuinely how I just don't know what Augustus Sky has done in the UFC to make me feel any confident. Like if you look at any of Tai Tuivasa's losses, they've been against some pretty damn good fighters. You know what I mean? Like and former champions.
Wait, hold on. Look at Sakai's wins though. Andrei Arlovsky, who's still doing it. Marcin Tybura and Blagoy Ivanov. That's his last 3 wins. And Chase Sherman, who's a pretty solid heavyweight too. He's not fighting complete tomatoes.
To be fair, Tuivasa doesn't have much better wins.
No, he doesn't.
Yeah. No, he doesn't. As much as I like Tuivasa and I'm picking him, he doesn't.
But who's been in there with tougher competition? Let's start there.
Ty, definitely Ty.
No, maybe Sakai. Rosenstrike and Overeem his last 2 fights.
I
honestly would side with Daly here.
With Sergey like, I don't know.
Ty beat Arlovsky as well.
Junior Dos
But his last 2 fights are Overeem and Jarzinho. Those are 2 tough fights.
It doesn't get better than that.
That's a lot harder than Greg Hardy.
Everybody knows
that's a different level of competition.
Overeem was on everybody's highlight reel for the last 3 years that he's been.
Everybody's also been on his highlight reel. You better put some respect on the Ream's name.
I love the Ream, but the Ream is not the Ream anymore.
You saw it won't, so I won't.
It's the horse meat. It's the horse meat. Okay.
You saw it won't, so I won't. I'm good. I'm good.
Man.
His whole UFC career is in shambles, if you ask me. Okay, who do we go to? It was Matt.
I interjected and I was saying how he lost to Blagoy Ivanov by decision in March 2020. I don't think that I do think he's had harder fights recently, and I think that puts kind of a sour taste in your mouth for Sakai. But like you're saying, those feet are glued to the ground, and that is not good when somebody's chopping up your lead leg.
Especially because you know Tai Tuivasa is evolving. Like he's
getting better every time he goes out. Like you say, it did get clipped, but I would hope he learned from that.
Yeah, I even thought like that Tai Tuivasa would be able to implement his wrestling a little bit against Greg Hardy, but he didn't need to. Right, the guy went out on his face. Dan, you remember that? Dash, what are your thoughts?
Yeah, I think Tai Tuivasa is going to take this one. Like you said, I like leg kicks to TKO victory. That's the path that I see. Same way you did.
Nader, did we get to you already? What are your thoughts?
Daniel Alameda, you are drinking out of a shoe tonight. Tai Tuivasa is going to win. And do not take Tai Tuivasa's toughness for granted either. Yes, he got clipped by Greg Hardy. But if you watch his Junior Dos Santos fight, he took 2 to 3 minutes of straight ground and pound. And then they stopped it. And he wasn't really, many people could say that the fight could have still gone. Tuivasa is evolving. I believe that he is more than ready for a ranked spot now. And I think that he does he knocks out Sakai. He's not going to get a decision when he's knocking him out.
Sakai probably will be like a UFC journeyman at that point, a UFC heavyweight journeyman. Not that he isn't already, but it'll be interesting. Dorian, what are your thoughts? Respectfully.
I think that everyone here is right, except the one thing you guys are missing. Malik stated it. Sakai's feet are to the ground. We saw Ty knock Stefan Struve out because Stefan Struve just stood up against the cage after he got his legs beat up. So we know
that dude's 6'8".
He's a redwood tree.
So if Ty, who's 6'1", what is he, 6'2" maybe?
Yeah,
if he can hit a 7-footer who's standing still, you don't think he can hit Sakai, who's the same size, standing still? He's probably going to hurt Sakai.
Sakai also has front kicks, though. Let's not forget that. He can add some distance. Wait, I don't know. You guys are saying different than I am.
If he puts that leg up against Tai Tuivasa, I think Tai Tuivasa implements his wrestling and takes him to the ground.
Or he starts chopping.
Or he weaves and knocks him out.
But Sakai also has leg kicks, too. He implemented
leg kicks. Tai Tuivasa is going to gain y'all respect tonight. Tai Tuivasa.
Yeah, I'm on the bandwagon now.
I'm sorry, Daly. I'm sorry because Daly's going at me right now. Daly, I apologize. Daly, I apologize. I'm sorry, Daly. I should say no, but with all due respect, with all due respect, Tai Tuivasa is going to knock this man out. We already know that. But we know Dominic Cruz and Pedro Munoz are going head to head. I'm just going to be very, very quick about this. Dominic Cruz is going to style on Pedro Munoz. Yeah, I think Pedro has has some capabilities. I said it before when we were all talking about the Jose Aldo versus Pedro Munoz fight. So everybody said Jose Aldo's going to win this fight. No, Pedro Munoz leg kicks, blah blah. Yeah, no. Jose Aldo's going to win this fight, and I'm going to say the same thing. Dominic Cruz is. There's a reason why Dominic Cruz has 3 losses on his record, and they've all been to elite competition. Pedro Munoz is not that anymore. I think that Pedro Munoz has been in a lot of wars in his career, and for him and Dominic Cruz basically being around the same age, when they both get in the octagon tonight, you won't be able to tell because Dominic Cruz still moves like he's in his 20s, and I think he's the hardest fighter in that division to hit. Pedro Munoz will be catching air, and he will also be getting his face jabbed off in the same process. But Dorian, let's start with you.
I agree 100%. Dominic Cruz is one of my favorite fighters. One of the reasons I started watching MMA, and his footwork has only gotten better over time, given his injuries and things like that. So if Munoz does land a few of those leg kicks, they can slow him down. But even if you slow him down, you still got to catch him. And his head movement is swift. And he doesn't have knockout power in his hands because he's a 35er. Let's just be real. But, I think he gets the job done, unanimous decision over Pedro.
Dash.
Yeah, I got Dominic Cruz here as well. I think that he is just too hard to hit. And I think, he's been talking a lot of smack coming up to this fight. I saw his press conference. Yeah, it is weird. And so I think he's going to come out really driven and show us that he's trying to make another title run. We'll see if he can do it. I don't know if he can. I don't think he can. But I do think that this is his attempt to try to initiate that movement.
He can. He definitely can.
And he should have never dropped down that far after losing to Henry Cejudo, in my opinion. But
it's Henry Cejudo. You're right. You know what I mean? Like,
also won by split decision over Casey Kenny, though.
That wasn't a split, and he should have never been fighting Casey Kenny.
But here's the crazy thing, and somebody Daniel Cormier pointed it out when I was watching his. He said, "Make no mistake about it. Dominic Cruz picked Pedro Munoz. UFC didn't offer Pedro Munoz. Yeah. Dominic Cruz picked him. He said." Dominic Cruz, you guys know he's an analyst for the UFC. There's a reason why Dominic Cruz picked him. There's something in Pedro Munoz's game that Dominic Cruz is like, I can exploit. I'm not saying Dominic Cruz is cherry picking. That's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is, for him being as accomplished as he is in mixed martial arts, and the stain, so to speak, that he has within the UFC, for him to be able to go out to Dana and the matchmaker and say, hey, I want to fight this guy. There has to be a reason as to why that he felt, yep, Pedro Munoz is the guy that I want to fight. I think he absolutely styles Pedro tonight. But Mac, what are your thoughts?
I don't think it's quite as clear cut as you're making it out to be. I think
it is.
I don't feel that it is. I certainly see a path to victory for Pedro Munoz. I don't think it happens. Tell
me what it is.
What? Chop leg kicks, using body shots, slow down that movement because there is no better footwork in the UFC. So yeah, if he can beat that movement and get to the legs, slow that movement down, start ripping the body, the body and the head will die. I don't think that's how it happens, but I see a path. I don't think he styles in 15 minutes. I think he beats him, and I think he beats him 3 rounds done. But I don't think it's going to be some sort of clinic or anything. I think you're overlooking Pedro Munoz.
So our viewers, just so you guys know, Mac is my guy. We watched a couple of UFC fight cards together, and we have an amazing time. And Mac is a great barbecuer. As well.
I can confirm.
I will say this: that is exactly what Pedro Munoz will be tonight, barbecue. Because the fact of the matter is, I'm just being completely honest with you. The fact of the matter is, Jose Aldo is a guy that likes to stand in front. He doesn't have he has good head movement, but he doesn't have amazing he's not crazy footwork. And we all said the exact, not me, but a lot of you guys said the exact same thing about Jose Aldo versus Pedro Munoz. I wish we can roll the clip, but we can't. But it was the Pedro Munoz is gonna attack Jose Aldo's legs and then go to the body. And yeah, that was more believable when we were fighting Jose Aldo.
To be fair, though, I think the way Jose Aldo's looking, I think he beats Dominic Cruz right now.
Sure. But I'm not even talking about them right now. I'm talking about simply Pedro Munoz going up against Dominic Cruz, and I am doing a little bit of MMA math here right now, and I know that typically doesn't always.
You're just trying to temper your expectations.
Yeah, like
I was one of the. I'll stand up, Malik. I was one who said Pedro would destroy Aldo, and I looked like an idiot because Pedro Munoz stood there and tried to outbox Jose Aldo, which you're not going to do. Because Pedro's hands aren't as fast as they want.
The same thing Rob Font just tried to do. You got turned into a pizza delivery man again.
Yeah, I just don't. I think when he touches Dominic Cruz, it'll be in the 3rd round. To be honest with you, I think Dominic Cruz is going to style on him and make him work for the first 2 rounds. And not going to be like this fight everybody's excited about. I'm really not that excited about because I fully expect to fall flat on his expectations. I really do because I think Dominic's just going to style on him the whole night, not beat him, not simply just destroy him. I'm just simply just making him miss, jab him up, make him miss, jab him up, move, jab him up. And Pedro won't have an answer. Pedro be looking around like, but Nader, what are your thoughts?
I mean, I think Cruz takes this one. It's going to be a good fight. But at the same time, I think that it's going to be a one-sided fight. Yeah. Cruz, if you guys, one of our viewers don't remember, he is the best bantamweight in UFC history, in my opinion. And he hasn't really lost much. Yes, he's not prime Cruz, but he's still very, very good. And I expect him to win 100%.
Daly, I just feel like you're itching to say something crazy, and I'm here for it.
You know what? I agree with you guys, but it's for a different reason. I think Cruz is going to win from his grappling, his wrestling. He talked about it this week. He's going to knee pick Pedro Munoz, which is something he is prone to do in other fights. And also, from a defensive wrestling standpoint, Munoz is going to try to take him down. But I think Dom Cruz is going to use his wrestling background because he was a big-time wrestler in high school and in college. And it will show tonight on top of his phenomenal striking.
Gotcha, Daniel.
Yeah, I mean, I have a lock of the day for our Patreon, and it's this fight goes the distance. It's minus 160, minus 165. Both of these guys, their past 8 fights, six of them have gone the distance. I don't think Cruz has the knockout power to do it. I think he's going to outclass Munoz, and this fight goes the distance. So if you guys have a parlay, please, I strongly suggest you guys throw it going the distance into your parlay.
All right. This next fight, guys, I'm not going to give a prediction for because I don't know. But Josh Emmett and Dan Ige, we're going to start off with Mack this time.
This one is my fight of the night pick. Like we were saying earlier, I think it's an injustice that this isn't on the main card. I think it's great that we get to end the free fights of the night with this, so props to them for that. Really hard to pick. If I had to choose, I would choose Emmett just based off his power. I know that over 15 minutes he can clip Ige. And if he does, I don't know how Ige is going to withstand that. He showed some holes against Chan Sung Jung. I think Chan Sung Jung is better than both of these fighters regardless. But I think that there was some film there that Emmett could use to exploit some holes and really crack him. But also, you look at Ige against a guy like Gavin Tucker, drop him in, 30 seconds? Mm-hmm. So it's a toss-up. I mean, I think this might be the best fight of the night.
Daly.
This is the definition of a barn burner. I'm pretty sure Mack alluded to that. I'm going to go with Ige, though. I think Ige is going to bounce back because he was rolling into that Chan Sung Jung fight with all the confidence after his KO victory over Gavin Tucker. I'm not saying he's going to stop Emmett. That's not what I'm saying at all. But I think you're going to see a blazing, blitzing performance from a striking standpoint with Ige. And I don't know if Josh Emmett, coming off of a 18-month layoff almost, can withstand that. So I think he's going to lose via decision to Dan Ige.
Daniel.
I'm going to take Emmett here. I think Emmett he's just relentless pressure. His past 5 fights, 4 of them have ended in a knockout. I'm going to take Emmett. I think he knocks out Ige here. It's a barn burner.
Dash.
Yeah, I think everybody kind of said it already. This is my potential fight of the night. And I do think, Josh Emmett, I think I got to give it to him. I loved his fight against Shane Burgos. It was a very even fight, I think. But he did win. And so I think it's going to be similar. It's going to be a close fight. Like all the way through, barn burner has been used as a term to describe it. And I think it fits. It's just going to be a good fight start to finish. And I'm not confident in either fighter. I'm not betting on anybody in this fight for sure. This is a toss-up for me, but give me Emmett.
Nader?
Yeah, same ideas with everyone here. I have no idea. I usually release my picks 10 minutes before, my full line of picks 10 minutes before the first prelim fight starts. And I honestly have no idea. I could 100% change my mind. But for now, I'm going to say I'm going with Dan Ige. I feel like he could have learned a lot from that Chan Sung Jung fight. Also, Emmett has been off for a while. And, if it was 5 rounds, it would be a different story. But I think this 3 rounds was making it even more hard to predict. I believe that Ige, I don't know if he'll be willing as much to just stand and trade with Josh Emmett, coming from the fact that Emmett, I think, does have a pretty significant power advantage, especially for a featherweight. Emmett is very, very powerful. Right now, I'm going with Ige, but I could definitely change my mind in the next couple of hours.
He could stand and bang with him if he want to. And what did my man say? He will get clapped. Yeah, that absolutely will happen. Dorian, what are your thoughts?
Yeah, I think that even though Emmett's coming off of a long layoff, I think this was a good fight for him because Dan Ige is coming off of the Chan Sung Jung performance. I think he's going to have to start fast almost because you can't let Emmett get the ring rust off and kind of just move around in the first round. And again, like everyone said, you can't let Emmett touch you. So Dan's going to probably be forced to wrestle. And I don't think that's going to be very, very conducive to his health if he tries to wrestle with Josh Emmett. So I have Josh Emmett. I do think this could potentially be fight of the night. I don't think it goes the distance, though. I think Emmett gets a late finish.
Yeah, I think Emmett wins. I know I said I won't give a prediction, but I do think Emmett wins this one. Kai Kara-France going up against Cody No Love Garbrandt. I'm going to let Dorian start this one off.
Guys, everybody, if I had a lock of the day, Kai Kara-France knocking Cody Garbrandt out would be the lock of the day. I don't know how Cody's the favorite. It's his first fight at flyweight. He's cut an additional 10 pounds. He's 1-4 in his last 5 fights. Like Sean O'Malley said, you're one fight away from being an analyst and a commentator. I don't think his speed and quickness will be that much of an advantage over Kai because Kai is probably faster than him. Cody does have a power advantage, but I think Kai, too quick, he'll get to him, and Cody will get a taste of his own medicine fighting a prime Cody Garbrandt. This is how it would be.
Daly, what are your thoughts?
I don't think Kai stops him. Kai beats him by decision. I think it's a 30-27 win for Kai. But I think this is going to be a demoralizing loss for Cody Garbrandt because Rob Font sent him back to 125 pounds, and it was a rough way that he lost to Font. He was turned into a wrestler. He wasn't comfortable striking. Against Kai Kara-France, where you're cutting an extra 10 pounds, that to me is a recipe for disaster.
Daniel.
Yeah, something changed in Garbrandt after he got destroyed by TJ Dillashaw. Something changed, and I just think that Kara-France is going to be on another level. And as Dorian pointed to, the fact that this weight cut, it's going to be difficult on Cody Garbrandt, and his first fight in at flyweight is Kai Kara-France. Give me Kara-France.
Preach. Nader.
Man, I want to take Garbrandt so bad. I really do. I don't know if it's the fact that I really like him. I don't know if it's the fact that a bit of me missed out on prime Cody Garbrandt, so I want him to return. But you guys are really convincing me to pick Kara-France, and I think I'm going to do it. I just think that it's too hard of a fight. Kara-France has beat so many good fighters in this flyweight division. He is a natural flyweight. He looked good after the weight cut. You know, I when I watched him beat Bontarine, it was really cool how he did it. And I just think that he has the power to knock him out. He has the cardio to just, outstrike him for 3 rounds. And I don't think that this was a good introduction fight for Cody. So I'm going to go Kara-France.
I'm going to keep it brief before I jump to Mack and Dash. IQs matter. Fight IQs are extremely important. And Cody hear me out. Cody is one of my favorite, most exciting fighters to watch. It hurt me to see him lose to TJ Dillashaw twice. His IQ is awful, though. I'm just being honest with you. It's awful. And I think Kai is gonna sleep him tonight, and I think it's gonna be pretty bad. Like Michael Daly said, it's just a matter of how he's gonna lose. Either way, it's gonna be a demoralizing loss for him. Whether he gets beat up for 15 minutes straight or if he gets knocked out, it's gonna be either way. It's gonna be a demoralizing loss. And I completely see a fight with Sean O'Malley in this future where I think that's going to be even more of a demoralizing loss because of their heat. It sucks, right? Because even hearing Cody, like the build up for this week, he didn't even sound like himself still. He doesn't sound like the same confident Cody Garbrandt that we're used to. And it's almost like how Conor was when Conor was for the build up for Dustin Poirier, where he was trying to try so hard to be like him old self. You can sort of see the chinks in their armor. So yeah, it sucks, but Cody Garbrandt's going out in a stretcher. Mack, what are your thoughts?
Yeah.
we're talking about how Cody's won one of his last 4 fights. We're not even talking about how he won that one fight. It was with an absolute Hail Mary back against the fence, and that's at 135. You take 10 pounds off of an 135-pound man, a lot of that power's gone too. I look at how Cody Garbrandt's career is going, and it's this way. I look at how Kai Kara France's career is going, and it's this way. And those intersect at some point, and they're intersecting tonight, and it's not going to be good for Cody.
Absolutely. Dash, I know you were going back and forth on this one.
Yeah, man, all this talk and there's still no love for Cody Garbrandt. I mean, come on. Nah, in all seriousness, though, I'm still going back and forth because I have this gut feeling that Cody's just going to do something stupid and, like, win in a stupid way. And, like, I can't get rid of that feeling. I can't shake it. So it's there. My IQ is telling me to go Kai Kara France here, just like from a fight standpoint, but I just can't shake this feeling. So give me Cody Garbrandt. I'm taking it. Give it to me right now. Cody Garbrandt's gonna do something weird.
Cody could 100% win this fight. But what there like, you know how they say like the perfect storm? There's gonna take like a perfect storm of things to happen in order for that to happen. It's gonna take him clipping Kai Kara France, which is possible, but it's also gonna take Kai Kara France, firing back at him like wild, and then Cody clipping him again, which Kai Kara France is smart, man. He's not going to do that. Cody's going out tonight. And
Cody also disrespected the haka, which is not good.
Yeah.
The haka, you can't disrespect the haka. You'll get put down for that.
At
their weigh-in, Kai Kara France did like the neck slice and the tongue out, and Cody Garbrandt's like, what is this guy doing? He had no idea. You disrespected the haka. He'll put you down.
Well, he's going to sleep tonight. And I hope he
not for nothing. I think Cody would probably have to wrestle.
Yes,
just being the bigger man if he wants to steal a couple rounds.
His pride won't let him. His pride won't let him.
His pride was the reason he didn't wrestle against Font until it was too late. Exactly. And then he's tired. His face is beater. Now he's trying to wrestle, and he doesn't have the cardio for that. Granted, there's only a 3-round fight, but I think Kai has a pace to him that he won't gas out. So
I can go 5 rounds any day of the week.
Yeah, Kai, and they say in City Kickboxing, they train 5 rounds, all their fighters, or all their professional fighters. So especially going up against Cody on the main card, this is a big spot for Kai. I think if he wins, he'll get a title shot.
I'm actually like, this is a game-changing fight for Kai Kara France. And I think
big fight for City Kickboxing.
Yeah, he's gonna style on Cody tonight. I really do think so. Jeff Neal going up against Santiago Ponzinibbio. We thought this fight was going to be in jeopardy due to Jeff Neal's affairs outside of the octagon. We won't get into that, but we're going to let Nader start this one off. We're going to let Nader Nation start this one off.
Oh, Nader Nation says that Ponzinibbio is going to get the win. I think that Jeff Neal just has a lot going on right now, and I don't know if he's 100% focused on this fight. Ponzinibbio, fantastic fighter. I feel like he'll just nonstop pressure, and I don't know if Neal can really get this knockout. It's going to be tough if he does, and I don't see him winning by decision. So I'm just going to keep it short, and I'm going to say that Ponzinibbio gets the unanimous decision win.
Matt, what are your thoughts?
I'm kind of on par with Nader there. I think you look at the success Li Jingliang had against Ponzinibbio, and a lot of it was due to his length, and that's not something that Jeff Neal has in his favor. So I wonder how Jeff Neal is going to be able to overcome Ponzinibbio's length. I think he can certainly knock him out if he can get in close. But I don't know if I necessarily see that happen. Ponzinibbio had that long layoff, and he had a tough fight back with Li Jingliang, but he's looked better every fight since. So I'd like to kind of see that continue trending, and I think Ponzinibbio wins by decision.
Daly, what do you?
Santiago Ponzinibbio looked great against Miguel Baeza, but guess what? Jeff Neal's not Miguel Baeza. Jeff Neal is a hunter, and so is Ponzinibbio, which is why I think this is going to end in a first-round TKO win for Jeff Neal. Jeff Neal, you can talk about all of the outside the cage issues all you want. That's fine. Jeff Neal against Stephen Thompson and even Magny, he was there until the very end. He did not give up. He was constantly stalking and walking down. He has throws in his game too. And Mac, you said, how can he beat Ponzinibbio? He has throws, and also he may not have the length, but he can strike as well.
Absolutely.
Danny, what are your thoughts? That's interesting, Daly. That's interesting.
Very.
Yeah. I think the biggest thing for me is Ponzinibbio. He hasn't looked the same since his big break, right? The 3-year break, and Neil fought 7 times during that break. And yes, Neil has lost the past 2 fights, but that was against Wonderboy and Neil Magny. That Neil Magny was a rough loss, but Wonderboy Thompson isn't a slouch. Wonderboy Thompson is one of the best in the division. So I'm going to take Neil here. I think TKO.
You're going to take who?
Neil.
Okay. I thought I confused Neil Magny for Jeff.
No.
Dorian, what are your thoughts?
I couldn't disagree with Daly anymore.
Oh God.
I think that you said you can bring up the out of the octagon things if you want, but okay, let's bring them up. If you're drinking in camp and it was a DUI he caught, he was drinking. Mm-hmm. You're drinking three weeks before your fight. Mm-hmm. And last camp, he had issues with Neil Magny, saying he had diarrhea and stuff like that for camp, and he had to. He put on his Instagram that after, he had diarrhea and stuff, and he was real sick. So obviously, when you're cutting weight, you're taking the water out of your body, but you have diarrhea, you have to rehydrate to be able to fight. So I think he said he was 207 on fight week. He had to cut 37 pounds. Why would you drink if you know you just had a tough cut? I think Ponzinibbio gets the job done. To keep it short, I think I don't think he'll knock him out, but he could get a submission here if this fight goes to the ground. But I do think Ponzinibbio wins this fight fairly easily.
Dash?
Oh, yeah, I think Ponzinibbio wins the fight. I do think the out of the ring issues will play a factor. But, yeah, I think Ponz is just going to be the better fighter tonight.
I think UFC analysts are going 2-0 tonight with Dominic Cruz and Santiago Ponzinibbio. I 100% that. Now, Amanda Nunes and Juliana Pena. Yeah, what a fight. I'm going to let Dash start this one off.
I think he said it best. What a fight. Yeah, I think this is going to be an absolute domination. Amanda Nunes is just far and above the better fighter, I think. It should be a pretty straightforward victory for her. I don't know how she does it. She can do it however she wants, honestly. If she told me this is how I'm going to do it, I'd definitely believe her. Give me Amanda Nunes. Give me the lioness. She's going to take it today. Keep her belt.
Mac, what are your thoughts?
Well, for lack of a better term, and pardon my French, Juliana Pena shit-talked her way into this fight. And that's not going to do her any favors when they get in the octagon. I think he pissed off Amanda Nunes, and she beats people up who she likes. I don't think that bodes well for you at all. And that's not to put Pena down. I think she's a great fighter, but there's no one in this weight class that can touch Amanda Nunes. There is somebody outside the weight class, though, but we can talk about that another day.
Yes, there is. Yes, there is. The best fighter in the UFC, best women's fighter in the UFC. 100%.
That's correct.
Nader, what are your thoughts?
Y'all are sleeping on Juliana Pena. Like, come on, bro. Juliana Pena is getting this win.
You can't even say it with a straight face.
You can't even
You got to keep a straight face, Nader. Come on.
It's Amanda Nunes. Like, come on. Give her like 5 minutes and it's over. That's all I got to say.
Daniel, what are your thoughts?
Going to sleep, man. She's going to sleep. Before I really dive into this, I'm making my parlay right now. Is there any way this fight goes the distance? Yes or
no?
Yes.
I think there is a way.
Felicia Spencer with the distance with Amanda Nunes.
Felicia Spencer's a tough son of a gun.
It don't matter. So is Juliana Pena, though. She's tough.
That's true.
Mm-hmm.
She's tough. And to me, there is one thing. Okay. No, go ahead, Daniel. Go ahead, finish.
Yeah, no. I'm gonna take Nunes. I don't think this is close.
What are the odds for her to make a decision?
What?
What are the odds for a decision?
Her decision is, I think it's -1. Oh no, her decision plus 500 at least.
Really?
So I'm gonna say TKO. I'll find you the odds for a decision right now.
That might be worth showing. It's hard to throw at Amanda straight up at -835.
Oh, minus. Yeah.
I have her here at -900.
Yeah, around that. So at if it's at +500 to make it the distance. What are you laughing at up there?
No, that's just crazy. -900. Like Vegas knows. Like, but Daly, what are your thoughts?
I'm going to be honest with you guys. Amanda Nunes has not lost since September 2014. I don't see it happening again tonight. The only saving grace for Pena is that she is very solid on the ground. She's coming off of a submission victory over Sarah McCann. But the way I see this, and I said this to Dorian the other night, this is Buster Douglas, Mike Tyson 2.0 if Pena wins this. If she finds a way to win, this is the greatest upset in MMA history. I don't see it. I don't see a fathomable way. But if it is, credit to her.
Then she's got to fight Valentina next if she wins.
She's have a parade if she wins.
Did you guys see in the presser? She said that after she wins, she expects obviously an immediate rematch, and then she'll beat Amanda 2 times back to back, and that would actually leave Juliana Pena with the most wins in UFC. Bless you, Daniel. UFC bantamweight women's division history.
Bless you, son.
And I didn't think like, well, you think Amanda's been so dominant, but I remember most of her domination comes at 45 after 2016. So yeah, Juliana Pena has. I know you didn't pick on me, Malik, but Juliana Pena has the grit to get it to go the distance, but I don't see it happening after she came at Amanda, said that she faked having COVID, said like a whole bunch of stuff. She came to the I think it was 252, and she was like, "Hey, I saw Amanda. She said she's okay. She's in the gym." And yeah, you can't piss off Amanda. But
Amanda's crushing cans.
She still shook her hand, and she's
Sarah McCann.
They're fighting the same people.
Exactly.
And she lost to Jermaine Durand to me, and Nunes beat Jermaine Durand to me, and I don't know. But anywho,
Pena's last win has "can" in her last name.
Yeah, not for nothing. Sarah McCann, but yeah, Nunes will get it done. However she wants. She might let it go to the 2nd, 3rd, 4th round, but this does not touch the 5th round.
He said, however do you want it?
Where do you need it?
Dash, what are your thoughts? Dash.
Me? Oh, I already said. I think Nunes takes it.
Okay, sorry. So for me, Mac makes me laugh because I was with Mac last weekend, and he said she talked her way into this fight. So I just got one thing. For her. Dorian, you're gonna get a crack out of this. Listen, Julia Pena, this is the end of the road for you. This is the end of your career.
You can't say that.
Nah, I can. Fighters like Juliana Pena, they are so prideful. And when they lose in the fashion that she's going to lose tonight, they don't recover from it. It does something to their career.
Cody.
I will say, Malik, Holly Holm did. She lost in dramatic fashion. She kind of
No. It's different. It's different though with Holly Holm though. What I mean by that is Holly Holm actually worked her way. You know what I mean to this. Like Juliana Pena talked her way into this, and she even like. I don't even think Juliana Pena believes she could beat Amanda Nunes, to be honest with you. I was watching the presser, and she was like, "You promised me. You said you were going to fight me. You said you were going to fight me. You said you're going to fight." So her whole thing is like Amanda's like, "I already passed you. Like, who have you beaten? You're not even a true contender." Like, she's like, "Yeah, but you said you were going to fight me. So because I told you I was going to beat your ass, you want me to beat your ass." Is basically what you're saying. That's okay. So I guess I'll go back and I'll fight you because you said I promised you, and I'm not like. It seems like Juliana Pena's whole thing is like she just wants the opportunity to fight because Amanda and her were supposed to fight a while ago, and they never had the opportunity to fight a while ago because maybe Juliana Pena didn't deserve the opportunity to fight Amanda Nunes. I'm not sure. I'm not.
Win one, lose one. Win one, lose one. Amanda said you're not on a winning streak. Why would I fight you for the belt? You said you would fight me, but you said me. Okay, all right. So I'm going to fight you now. Right? It's like when Nader said to me the other day, like maybe a couple weeks ago, he was like, "I got better in UFC, but we could fight." Blah blah blah. You said you're gonna fight. I fought Nader and I destroyed him. I was like, I'll fight you if you keep begging for it. If you keep asking for it, okay, I'll give you this opportunity. Same thing with Daniel. I could beat you in UFC, knock him out in the first round every single time. It's the exact same thing. So the fact is, Amanda Nunes is going to obliterate Juliana Pena last night. So I had to throw out Boys to Men, had to play the end of the road because this is the end of the road for her.
congratulations to you for talking your way into a championship. It's a lot like what Connor did when I'm not never mind. Anyway, we're gonna move it. We're gonna keep it going.
Can I say one last thing?
Yes, sir.
And credit to Juliana Pena for, if we want to call it, talking herself into this fight. I think if this fight goes any way other than in a immediate destruction, like how most of Amanda's fights go, I think Pena can get an immediate rematch, because there's no contenders at 45. There's really no standout at 35. Pena can talk her way into a rematch.
Kayla,
she's not here yet.
But the UFC is talks for that fight, not for anything else. There's no tune-up. There's no room for that fight.
Oh yeah, she doesn't need a tune-up.
Both of their coach Mike Brown has turned down that though. But
Kayla's going to leave that camp. I'm telling you, Mac, Kayla will not finish her career at ATT. She's out.
I would like to see that happen, so the fight happens. I would prefer that. I would need.
It's going to be it's going to be like Usman. She's going to have to go elsewhere.
I think that's the best move for everybody, honestly. And that's the only way the fight's going to happen, because Mike Brown's shutting it down. He said, "Well, they're both here. They're not fighting."
Yeah, she's got to go.
She's going to go, and
They both know it's the fight to make. And Amanda, especially if she's not going to fight Valentina again, she's got to fight Kayla Harrison.
Y'all do know Kayla probably going to be in the audience tonight, right?
Oh
yeah.
She has to be. She has to be.
And that is her teammate.
I'm supporting my teammate. I love you.
Yeah.
Nonsense.
Like, what up? Like, she gonna be ready. Yeah, what up? Like after the fight.
But wait, I don't know if Kayla can make 35. Kayla can make 45. We know that.
She's not making 35. It's taken her years to get down to 45.
Yeah, she's not making 35. So Pena can get the immediate rematch at 35 with Amanda.
There's still one. I still want to see. I mean, we'll never see it again. And I was talking to Mac about this. I still want to see Amanda versus Cyborg run that back one more time. I mean, personally, I really would love to see that fight happen again. We all saw something in the beginning of that fight that it never gets talked about. Amanda did get clipped, but whatever. Charles Oliveira taking on Dustin Poirier for the lightweight title. Mistakes get rectified. That's what I'm going to say. Mistakes get rectified. Frauds get put back in their lane. Journeymen go back in what they are. Yeah. This is. Oh, no.
He's calling Charles Oliveira just a journeyman right now.
Does nothing for me. Yes, Manor Farrat, you're right about that too, Nader. She's a beast. But Dustin Poirier taking on Charles Oliveira, who's the UFC interim
so disrespectful
champion right now, who I consider is the UFC interim lightweight champion right now. He's the placeholder.
He is not the interim champion. He's not.
Oh, in my eyes, he is. He's not the true. Come on, he's not really the UFC lightweight champion. But yeah, taking on the UFC placeholding champion Charles Oliveira. I'm gonna let Daly start this one off.
Well, first and foremost, I actually thought that Oliveira should have lost that fight to Chandler, because I thought Dan Miragliotta should have stepped in, but he didn't. Yeah. That's neither here nor there. I do disagree. I think at this point, rattling off a 9-fight win streak like Oliveira is going to help your confidence. But Dustin Poirier is at an all-time high right now. He's the same man who had Khabib Nurmagomedov in peril on the ground. Let's not forget that. And also, look what he did to Conor McGregor. First person to ever stop Conor McGregor via strikes, and he did that. All in all, though, Poirier, I think, is going to get a 4th-round TKO. Oliveira was clipped by Chandler, and Chandler just blew out his gas tank. Poirier is experienced enough in big-time fights that he's going to get the job done.
Daly, you're my man. Let me start that off. You're my guy. You know what I mean? You're that guy, pal. However, you talk about his winning streak. I just want to go over the fighters that he's beaten in his winning streak, if you don't mind, for a second.
Finishing streak, excuse me.
Finishing streak.
Yeah.
And before I say everything that I'm about to say, I just want to say respectfully beforehand.
Oh my God.
He beat Jim Miller. That's a solid win.
Broke the submission record for Jim Miller.
That's a solid win.
UFC submission record on Jim Miller.
He beat Christos Giagos, who I watch a lot of his fights. IQ. Yeah. I feel like the big theme of the show is IQ. No, he doesn't have good IQ. He beat old man Clay Carpenter Guida, the man who sort of helped get me into UFC. Cool win.
Clay's still winning.
Leonardo Santos.
He beat Jared Gordon. He beat Nick Lentz. He beat David Tamer. He beat an old, aging Tony Ferguson who gets held down for 3 rounds by Beneil Dariush. He beat former UFC fighter Kevin Lee, who's no longer in the UFC anymore. Then he beat Michael Chandler in his second fight in the UFC, who's only won 1 fight in the UFC after he beat Dan Hooker. Yeah, I don't know. For me, I don't know. Dustin Poirier is a dog. He's beaten the top of the division. I'm sorry, beating Tony Ferguson at this point of his career is not something that I'm like, yes, you're the man because you did that. I think a lot of fighters in the lightweight division, unranked and ranked, would beat Tony Ferguson at this point of his career. Tony Ferguson doesn't even know how to properly tweet.
CSO.
So, yeah. I don't know. Dustin Poirier, in my opinion, is the rightful UFC lightweight champion. Same, he is. I mean, he the reason why Charles Oliveira even has the opportunity to fight for lightweight belts because Dustin Poirier decided to get 2 paychecks and fight Conor McGregor, and he thought it would be more lucrative. And he knew at any point in time he can go up there and take the belt, no matter who was going to be the lightweight champion. He's going to do exactly that tonight. Charles Oliveira, for as nice as this win streak is that he's on, I can also ask you who has he? If you beat a Justin Gaethje or something like that, you get my respect. I completely respect what you've done or something like that. You have not beaten anybody, and Justin Gaethje and Dustin Poirier, in my opinion. Also, you could say Islam Makhachev and Beneil Dariush. Those guys are the top fighters in the lightweight division right now. But what I'm saying is, we're talking about him beating Tony Ferguson. We're talking about him beating Tony Ferguson. He beat Michael Chandler, a guy that decided to be more of an exciting fighter than actually, compete for champion. Before it was at the top and all this stuff. Now he wants exciting fights. That's what he's all interested in at this point. So it's weird to me. I don't know. Listen, Charles, you had a great career, buddy. It was great. It was awesome. I'm happy that you're the paper interim UFC champion, or lightweight champion right now. But that belt comes home. It goes back home to Lafayette. It goes home to Lafayette, Louisiana tonight, as Dustin Poirier likes to say, paid in full, because that's exactly what's going to happen. He's going to stop Charles Oliveira. Charles Oliveira is probably going to quit in between rounds after body shots because of what he does. Daniel, what are your thoughts?
Yeah, I used to be on the Oliveira train. I was, and he's still one of my favorite fighters. I'm going Poirier here, though. Oliveira, this is his best competition he's fought in his career. Poirier isn't going to go down to one punch like Michael Chandler did. Poirier's taken McGregor strikes two straight fights, or three fights. The first fight, we obviously knew how that one went, but Poirier is the hottest fighter right now in the division. He is going to make not quick work, because that's disrespectful to Oliveira. Oliveira is the champion.
He's not the champion.
He is the champion right now. Oliveira is the champion. Yes, he is. Yes, he is. Yes, he is. Yep.
It's like you ever had a substitute teacher, Mike Daly, and because the teacher is away because they're sick for a couple of days or something like that, and so you need a substitute teacher to come and teach the class. That's literally what this is.
That's not what this is.
It's weird. The champion is not walking out last. The champion is not being announced as the champion tonight. Make no mistake about it. Dustin Poirier is the lightweight champion. And everybody,
not yet. No, he's not.
Well, he's uncrowned. He's
the uncrowned king, sure. But the fact of the matter is, I view this a lot like I viewed Eddie Alvarez's reign as champion. Whether he was fighting Khabib Nurmagomedov or Conor McGregor, either way, the belt was coming off of him. It's the exact same thing here. Charles Oliveira is a paper champ.
But yeah, Poirier. It surprised me he's only minus 130. I thought it would be much higher than that. So, give me Poirier TKO.
Absolutely, Nader. What are your thoughts?
I mean, all you guys are gonna bash me for this, but I'm picking Oliveira. I don't care. I really don't. I think that Oliveira is a great fighter, and you guys are calling him.
Knocked out by Paul Felder.
So wait, hold on.
Okay, knows what?
How is he going to win? I'm curious. How is he going to
win? He win by submission. I think he can win by submission. I genuinely think he can win by submission. He's the best Brazilian jiu-jitsu fighter in the UFC. He's the best Brazilian.
Wait. Let's talk about that for a second. Like,
go ahead.
If we're talking about him being a jiu-jitsu fighter, you still have to get the fight to the ground. He's not an overly dominant wrestler. That's not what Charles Oliveira's game is. It's you have to literally be on the ground with someone to utilize your jiu-jitsu. It's the same thing they say about the Diaz brothers. Oh, the Diaz brothers have fantastic, but we never see it because they're not going to initiate wrestling. They're not going to. You still have to get Dustin to the ground. He gets in close, he's going to get clipped. This guy quits on this. This is what he does.
This is the same thing that everybody said with Wonder Boy and Gilbert Burns. And what happened? Gilbert Burns got him on the ground and held him on the ground for 3 rounds when everybody said that Gilbert Burns did not have the BJJ.
You're also acting as if, not just you, I'm just saying people in general. So I'm not going strictly at you, Nader.
No problem. Yeah.
But Dustin Poirier is actually pretty decent on the ground. Wonder Boy Thompson is a stand-up fighter. That's
he's more than pretty decent. He's a black belt.
Yeah, I'm just being real with you right now. Like I think right now, like I feel like we have to talk about it obviously because it's the lightweight championship fight. But to me, Dustin's gonna kill this guy. Just being real, man. I don't see a path to victory for Charles Oliveira. Sure, he can get a Hail Mary submission, but the dude literally bites down his mouthpiece and keeps fighting. He doesn't gas out. He keeps fighting, bro. He's been in some dog wars with the Justin Gaethjes of the world, with the Khabib Nurmagomedovs of the world, with the Conor McGregors of the world, with the Dan Hookers of the world. And Charles Oliveira's claim to fame is, yes, he beat Tony Ferguson. Cool. Awesome.
I understand what you guys are saying, but at some point, I chose Oliveira. I'm going to stick with him.
Listen, brother, I respect it. He still took Tony Ferguson to a decision. Tony Ferguson at this point in his career to a decision.
I mean, yeah.
He snapped his arm, and he pretty much did. To be fair,
he did snap.
I get that, and that's cool. But he's not doing that to Dustin. He's going to get slammed on his neck and probably quit.
I mean, you can never count on Oliveira. Oliveira is still top dog. He's still the top. He's still a top dog.
He's a paper champ. 100%.
Okay, doesn't mean that he still isn't a top dog in this division.
He's a top dog because he's the person with the nameplate next to him that says champion.
Even if he wasn't a champion, he still
even Michael Chandler was about if that fight should have to my Daly's point, and I understand I respect the judge's call. It was not stopped, but that fight should have been stopped. Michael Chandler should be fighting Dustin Poirier for the lightweight title. The dude was literally quitting in there. Bent down and was getting hit in the head. Anybody else, any sensible other ref, no offense to Dan Mergliotta, would have stopped that fight. Charles Oliveira, we're acting like he's a dog. We're acting like he's actually been in some bro. Who has he beaten? What has he done?
He doesn't need to be a dog because he finishes everyone in the first round.
Right. He finished a fighter who's no longer in the UFC, and Kevin Lee, who also had a full training camp and then got stopped by my man at the welterweight division, and he's no longer in the UFC anymore. He beat Tony Ferguson by a decision victory, who literally can't even put together sentences anymore at this point in his career. And we're talking about Charles Oliveira like he's done something amazing.
Okay, I mean, Kevin Lee was 18 months ago.
I'm just being real. The dude's a bum. That's just how I feel. Charles Oliveira's a bum. He's a bum.
Okay. Charles Oliveira is not a bum. Charles Oliveira is 1 million %.
Hear me out. Charles Oliveira is a bum, and tonight is going to prove how much of a bum.
Wait, you know what thing about that? This dude is, whether you like to call it the paper champion or not, he still has a belt wrapped around his waist. Therefore, he is not a bum. He is still beating Michael Chandler. He's still being the best.
He still got submitted by Ricardo Lemos, and he's supposed to. No, Dale. I'm talking to Nader. I want to address it. Hold on. We want to talk about people he submitted. He got submitted by Anthony Pettis. He got submitted by Ricardo Lamas. He's gotten knocked out by Max Holloway. He beat Nick Lentz twice. That's cool, right?
That was in 2016.
I don't care. We're still talking about it, bro. The guy lost to Frankie Edgar. We can keep it going.
In 2013, Frankie Edgar.
Knocked out by Cub Swanson.
2013, Frankie Edgar. 2012.
Knocked out by Donald Cowboy Cerrone. We can
2011.
What are we talking about here? But what has he done, bro?
I was 4 years old in 2011.
That's fine, right?
I was 4 years old in 2011.
We're still. Listen, we don't. So do we not talk about Tom Brady's when we bring up Tom Brady and we're talking about the
Tom Brady's not getting punched.
Football and MMA are much different sports.
It doesn't matter though. It's still sports. We still have to look at it from the grand scheme of things. We're not going to just look at what he's done with the recent victories that he's had over tomato cans. We have to also look at what he's done against fighters that were in their prime when he fought them.
I disagree.
Michael Chandler's not a tomato can.
I completely disagree. If are we looking at football games based on what a team did 20 years ago? No, we don't evaluate that when we're taking into our
come on
decision
now.
what they're
We're
going to
talking
do for
about
this
football
next
games
game.
where a team plays each and every single week. That's not what I'm talking about. I'm simply saying at the height of competition, when you're at the height of competition, it's like, for instance, when people were talking about Daniel Jones when he was coming out of college, and he had a losing record against with teams with a winning record in college, and people were trying to tell me, oh, he's the stud. No, he's not. It's the same thing with this. Charles Oliveira, when he's fighting guys that are in their prime and they're the top-notch guys, he loses every time. Every time.
But Daniel Jones doesn't know how to snap someone's arm in half.
That's fine that you have that ability. What I'm saying is, tonight, let's just simplify it. Tonight, your boy Charles Oliveira is going out on his face, on his back, or he's
okay, and that will be fine. Because
wait, hold on, wait.
Fine.
Nate, hold on. What you're saying can be completely fair, but you're telling me that Poirier, who is an all-world fighter, and you're praising Poirier, is going to beat Oliveira. Okay, that doesn't make Oliveira a bum. That means Poirier is outclassing Oliveira, and that is completely
listen.
fine. That doesn't mean that Oliveira is a bum.
I have a friend. I have a couple of friends actually, but I have a friend of mine, for instance.
I'm happy for you.
I'm not saying this to be a smartass. I'm not like you got your giggles and your jokes in, fine. But what I'm saying is actually serious, and I hope you listen. But like, I have friends who do combat sports, and I'm not going to say any names, but they fight tomato cans. And the moment they get a step up in competition, they lose.
Michael Chandler is not a tomato can, though.
Michael Chandler had him beat. That fight should have been stopped.
It should not. I don't think it should have been stopped.
That fight should have been stopped.
100%. I could say the same thing for Dan Hooker and Dustin.
Exactly. Dustin was really.
Been stopped.
Dustin was shaking.
And he would have lost to Dan Hooker, and Michael Chandler is not Dan.
It's not feeding my. It's not feeding my agenda. Chill. At the end of the day,
that's ignorant bias.
It's not ignorant. It's not ignorant.
It is incorrect because you're saying he submitted Jim Miller. Cool. Dustin Poirier only beat Jim Miller by majority decision. He needed the judges to beat Jim Miller just 6 months before. Right?
I'm talking about
Jim Miller also beat Oliveira though.
Hold on.
I'm talking about
Jim Miller beat Oliveira in their first fight.
But he didn't win their second.
But what I'm saying is this: if you have a war with Dan Hooker, Malik, you don't have any respect for Dan Hooker. You said, "Oh, Michael Chandler beat him. He got a title shot. He's a bum." If you have a war with Dan Hooker, what do you think is going to happen with Oliveira, who just knocked out the guy who knocked Dan Hooker out?
MMA math sucks. MMA math doesn't work.
Charles Oliveira is going out tonight.
Okay, well, if MMA math doesn't work, how about this? Dustin fought Conor and knocked Conor out, right? Dustin could have fought for the title. Who would it have been? It would have been Charles Oliveira and Dustin Poirier. And what did Dustin say? I don't want to fight him. Give me this easy guy. Let me fight him again.
No, it's because it was more money. That's why.
That's not what he said.
Okay. So if he's taking money fights over Oliveira.
No. It's Conor McGregor. There's a difference between money fights and the biggest.
You're saying money fights.
Okay, but then he knew that he could beat Conor too. He wouldn't have taken the fight if there was a serious threat that he would have lost, because that would have jeopardized his title shot.
Thank you. And Mike, I get you. I agree with you. I'm talking to Malik, who's talking about Oliveira's fight in cans. Oliveira fought Michael Chandler and Tony Ferguson. And Tony Ferguson was fresh off
about Tony Ferguson. Like Tony Ferguson is he's not.
Tony Ferguson was one fight removed from an interim title fight. Tony Ferguson was about to fight Khabib. Yes, he was.
7 months apart from his title fight, where he almost knocked out
Khabib couldn't get into America with COVID. Justin Gaethje steps in, and Gaethje puts it on Tony and almost went to decision. Luckily, it got stopped. And then the very next fight, Oliveira goes out and dominates him. This wasn't a wash Tony Ferguson that you're talking about. It was one fight after he fought for a title.
He got knocked out by Justin Gaethje, and then the next fight he got his arm snapped by Charles. He lost to Charles Oliveira,
and that's the very next fight. You're one fight away from a title, and Dustin's fighting guys. Conor McGregor was off for 2 years and then fought Cowboy. He fought Cowboy. Come on, Malik, don't do this.
So Tony Ferguson was an elite fighter when he fought.
Is Cowboy an elite fighter? Is Conor an elite fighter? No, Dustin's not fighting the top guys. Why didn't Dustin fight Islam?
Oh, no. Conor was one fight away from a title fight if he would have won that.
But he didn't win. He didn't win.
One win in the lightweight division, and that's against
Dorian, if Conor would have beat Poirier, he was fighting for the title. I don't care. He won.
Hold on. Let's bring facts in. Donald Cowboy Cerrone is a blown up 170er, and Conor came back to fight him. His very next fight, he fights Dustin. Now, we can say, yeah, he's one fight away from the title. Okay, cool, because it's Conor. He's a star.
Well, Dana said that.
You're okay, and cool. Dana can say whatever he wants, but you're telling me Conor McGregor in 2021 is better than Tony Ferguson or Michael Chandler in 2021? You're crazy.
He's better than Tony. He's not better than Michael.
Better than Tony.
He's 100% not better than Michael Chandler right now.
That I agree with 100%, but he is better than Tony. I think
He's not like Tony's a bum. He's still good.
Okay, thank you.
What?
Thank you. And
Tony is still good.
We don't even have to stay there. Let's go to the next fight. Michael Chandler got knocked out cold on his back. He got saved. He didn't know where he was. You can say he should have been stopped. It shouldn't have. That's ridiculous. He was bobbing most of those shots.
Exactly.
And the bell was about to be rung anyway. And literally 15 seconds later, he's sleeping. Justin Gaethje, who you said is the elite guy that Dustin beat, he couldn't put Chandler out in 15 minutes, and Chandler wasn't even fighting. Chandler was
trying to give the crowd a show.
Like you just said, trying to have an exciting fight, and Justin Gaethje, who has the best hands at 155 and almost put Dustin out a couple of times in their fight, couldn't put Michael Chandler out. So you're calling him a bum, and he's putting out guys who your guy couldn't even put out. What are you talking about?
One guy.
Who else is?
And
you brought up one guy. Here's I'm gonna break down this way because we do have to end this show soon. Here's I'm gonna simplify it this way, guys. Tonight, I hate to say I told you so, but I love to say I told you so. Charles Oliveira, the paper championship is coming off of him. Dustin Poirier will be the lightweight champion by night's end.
Michael, do you remember he said?
Listen what I'm saying. Listen what I'm saying. That's not what I'm. Listen, you're bringing up other things that we don't need to talk about.
Yes, I am.
I did just see a clip of you talking about Conor and Dustin today, where you said he'll go out on his face or his back.
Can you guys please stop? Right. Listen to what I'm saying. Listen.
Forget Masvidal.
Dustin.
You're not.
Don't forget Masvidal.
All right, if we're gonna do that, we could also talk about the stuff that I've been right about as well. That you guys.
No. We're just speaking on these two guys.
All right, so let's keep it to this. We don't need to bring up Usman. We don't need to bring up Masvidal. We don't need to do all that. I'm simply saying this right now. I'm simply saying this right now. And the beautiful thing about tonight, like the questions get answered tonight. Everything, no matter what I'm saying, like I'm either gonna be right or I'm gonna be wrong. I've been wrong before. I'm okay with being wrong. You don't be in this business for this long and not get everything right. What I am saying though is, and I want you to actually listen to what I'm saying for a second. Dustin Poirier is going to beat you guys' lightweight champion in Charles Oliveira.
Don't lump me in with you guys.
Sorry, Matt. And it's not going to be close.
See, and this is where
hear me out, Dorian. What I'm saying, what does Paul Heyman say? That is not a spoiler. He said this is not speculation. This is what you call a spoiler. This is a spoiler. Dustin Poirier is going to make that boy quit tonight. With body shots up against the fence, he's going to quit. Dustin Poirier, paid in full, will be the lightweight champion. And I'll be interested to see what you guys have to say after this. I mean, Charles Oliveira probably go back to fighting, some other guys. And probably, matter of fact, they'll probably give Islam Makhachev the Charles Oliveira after he makes light work of Beneil Dariush. That's going to be... Yeah, it's going to be interesting. But Charles Oliveira isn't the lightweight champion. He has that name next to him right now. But make no mistake about it, Dustin Poirier is the true lightweight champion. And if he does lose tonight, Dustin Poirier does lose somehow tonight. I'm curious. I'm curious to see how he loses.
Charles Oliveira has the most finishes in the UFC promotion history, the most submissions UFC history.
That is cool.
The most dangerous guy Dustin has fought in the UFC, Khabib included.
No.
Yes.
No, you're sick in the head. You're sick for that. You're sick for that.
He has more finishes.
You want to talk about me? You want to talk about me saying crazy stuff? That was crazy.
No, I'm going to call the local hospital.
Let's put a fact. This is the same guy.
Jersey Health.
This is context matters. Just so you guys know, Dorian is the same guy that said Charles Oliveira will give Khabib a tough fight. Khabib was like, yo, I'm done with this division because I would kill Charles Oliveira, and it's not worth my time going through another weight cut, bro. This guy's not real champ. Like Khabib said, this guy's not. Khabib would have killed Charles Oliveira. What are we talking about here? He would have killed him. He would have killed him. He would have killed him.
Listen, I agree with you.
Dorian, he would have killed him. Yellow tape up, back in blood, gone, deceased.
I agree with you with one thing. One thing, Malik. Islam's next fight will be against Charles Oliveira if he beats Beneil, because it'll be a title defense. Number 2 for the Bronx. And still, the favelas win again. I have him knocking out or submitting Dustin Poirier. Either way he wants, because he has knockout power in his hands, as we saw in his last fight.
Do not doubt Charles' striking. Do not doubt Charles. Charles' striking is good.
Stop it.
It is good. It's not Poirier level, but it is good. Charles Oliveira has been striking.
Who's knocking out Dustin?
Charles Oliveira, Du Bronx.
Get some help.
And still, he got knocked out by Michael Johnson. You want to bring up things from 10 years ago? Let's bring things up from 10 years ago.
Please.
He got flatlined by MJ. Come on now. Don't do that, Malik. We're not
He also
doing
got flatlined by Conor McGregor and then beat him twice. So
exactly. He got pieced up by Conor at 45. Connor's a you want to talk about weight?
I will not subscribe to the 10 years ago talk. That means nothing to me.
Neither will I. And
yeah.
I bring it up for reference.
So I think it's valid that you're bringing it up now because Malik did, but I will not subscribe to it.
Come on.
That's fine. I don't give a damn.
But
I'm just simply being real. He's a different fighter than what he is right now. And the fact of the matter is, Dustin Poirier is going to put your boy out on his back tonight. And that's not me. Like, listen, regardless of what you think, Dorian, regardless of where you think my intentions are or what I lie, what I'm saying right now, and I think you know this about me, you know me very well, very, very well. I'm spitting facts right now. Dustin Poirier being a Dorian, look at me. Dorian, look at me. Dorian, look at me. Dorian, look at me for a second. Dorian, look at me for a second. Look at me for a second. We know each other very well. Listen. Your boy, Dustin Poirier is going to beat your boy tonight, and it's not going to be close. Okay, I promise you.
I'm not saying Oliveira can't lose. I'm not saying
no. I'm not saying I don't care about cans. I'm telling you what's going to happen. Dustin Poirier is going to kill him tonight. He's going to kill him. It's not going to be close. Your boy is going to quit. And I want to hear what you got to say about God, and the most finishes in UFC. Yeah, I want to see that play out tonight. I want to see how that play out because it's not going to. It's not going to. And earlier, you guys were talking about the fact that he's got a finishing streak. Well, he didn't finish Tony Ferguson, so he doesn't have a finishing streak anymore. Tony Ferguson snapped that. So the fact of the matter is, tonight, Dustin Poirier is going to beat Charles Oliveira. He will be the new lightweight champion, and we will get Gaethje versus Poirier 2. That's what we think.
I think if Dustin was as confident as you, that trilogy fight with McGregor would have been for a title. And he would have got points on the pay-per-view card.
Bro, they didn't want to. They couldn't, bro. The UFC
could have made that for a title.
They could have made that. UFC decided.
No. I'm saying Charles and Dustin would have been for the title, and then Dustin would be like, "Okay, now we do the trilogy."
Bro, Dustin is so because you no.
I think you're reading that the wrong way.
You're talking some BS. Dustin knows Conor's in and out of the game. You never know when Conor's next fight's going to be. So guess what? He fought Conor back to back. That's 2 huge paydays for Dustin. 2 main event paydays for Dustin. It's disrespectful to Charles. Think about it. You're turning it in a different way from what Dustin's intentions were. Dustin decided to fight Conor twice because he knew no matter who was the lightweight champion, no matter who was the lightweight champion, he knew for a fact, I can go up there and get that belt at any point in time. If you want me to be spit real about it, the UFC screwed Justin Gaethje. It should have been Justin Gaethje versus Charles Oliveira for the lightweight.
I agree with
lightweight champion for the lightweight championship, and Justin Gaethje would have beat him too.
He would have melted him.
He would have melted.
I do agree with everything you're saying, but you do also need to pen. Here's a pen because you need here. I get it in the camera. You need to pen an apology letter to Charles Oliveira for calling him a bum. There's no doubt in my mind that Charles Oliveira loses this fight, but he is nowhere near a bum.
Okay.
I want to see it 300 words. I want it handwritten, and I need a signature at the bottom.
Double space.
This is your assignment. You owe him an apology with this nice pen. This is gel ball ink. This is
Charles Du Bronx. Hold on. Charles Du Bronx. Respectfully, seriously, this is me coming from the heart. I want to apologize for absolutely nothing because nothing that I said was not true. You're a bum. You're going to lose your lightweight championship belt. It was nice to play. You
can lose it without being a bum.
Hold on. It was nice to play champion for the last. Well, just listen. It was nice to play champion for the last couple of months. I know you picked that belt up at Walmart or Toys R Us, but tonight you're going to lose to Dustin Poirier, the true lightweight champion, the true king of the lightweight division, and I make no qualms about it. Dustin, Charles, if we ever had the opportunity to interview you, I will say the exact same thing to your face. You are going to lose, and I'm only going to feel confident in saying that to your face because you're where you are and you're not where I am. I don't have to worry about you touching me ever, thank God. But the fact of the matter is, Dustin Poirier is going to melt you tonight. Dustin Poirier is going to walk out of that arena tonight as the new UFC lightweight champion. And it ain't a damn thing Nader, Dorian, Daniel, or anybody else could say, think about it. The fact of the matter is you are a paper champion. It's time to move over. Guess what? What did Daniel Cormier say to John Jones that time when he was in the crowd? The big boys are at the table. It's time to move over. You know,
Cormier lost.
You played. It's fine. you played champion. You played champion. It was nice that you played champion, but you're not the rightful UFC lightweight champion. And if you do somehow decide to beat Dustin Poirier, I will apologize. I will rescind everything, and I will not talk UFC. I will not show my face on this show again. The fact
we want you on the next one because you ducked.
Oh no. If he wins, you are definitely coming on 270's live preview.
What did I do?
Have a 500-word apology.
What did I do?
When you said that Usman is going out on his back and he's going to
He almost did. He almost did.
No. Jorge woke
Masvidal got stopped.
I'm talking about Usman. I'm talking about Covington Usman. Sorry.
Yeah. No. Jorge woke up and was like, "Oh, there's my family front row. Hey guys." He got slept in his hometown. Like, listen,
what we're talking about right now doesn't matter. What I'm saying matters, right? What you're saying doesn't matter. What I'm saying matters, right? Like, the end of the day, Dustin Poirier is going to walk out of tonight as the lightweight champion. And like, no matter how many bold predictions you make, Dorian, no matter how you feel about it,
you're throwing out the bold predictions.
Yeah, I'm not the bold prediction guy. I'm going straight.
He's going out on his face tonight.
It doesn't mean he's a bomb, though.
Well, guys, we want to thank you so much for joining us on the TWSN UFC 269 preview show. This was our best, most entertaining show by far. You see what happens when you get the Wright brothers,
and you still gotta do the shoey, Malik, after.
Anyway, so you see what happens when you get the Wright brothers going at it. Yeah, this was exciting. This was fun. Well, guess what? The beautiful thing is, guys, questions get answered tonight. We find out who the rightful UFC champion is. You know, with all due respect, I respect all the UFC fighters for real. They get in there, they compete, they do things that the general public could never do. I know I'm not willing to take. Except for KK, we do not. All my homies hate KK, but we do not show respect to that. That it doesn't to that we do not. But at the end of the day, guys, we want to thank you so much for joining us on the show. This was an entertaining one. I hope that you guys join us for the next one. But you can catch Strikes and Submissions each and every single Thursday at 7 p.m. Eastern time. The best coast is the East Coast, and you definitely can catch them. Michael Daly and Dorian always talking some UFC actions, and I look forward. I'm going to be watching the Strike Submission show this upcoming week because I can't wait to see Dorian sulk in his tears. But other than that, guys, I want to thank you so much for joining us on the show once again. Make sure you subscribe to the TWSN YouTube channel if you want some awesome bets. You want a great parlay to kick your weekend off right. Make sure you subscribe to the TWSN Patreon. And yeah, with that being said, for Michael, for Daniel, for Nader, for Mack, for Dash, and for Doe himself, Mystic Doe, as I like to call him, we are signing off on the show. We will catch you guys next time. Have a great night and enjoy the fights.
Get up, let me